Kenapa nggak muncul ya? Halo. Eh, halo. Halo. Halo semua. Oke, jadi ini gue belum pernah belajar React Native sebelumnya. Sama sekali belum. Jadi gue udah menghabiskan total 2 jam setengah. I never learned React Native before. Okay, I try to learn React Native from this video. Let's see what we got here. Nah, jadi ini gue coba mempelajari di sini. Udah masuk homepage ya, jadi welcome to the stream buat semua yang baru join. Bersama yang baru datang di channel ini, selamat datang aja. Gue cuma bisa menyapa dari kejauhan. Ya, oke. Welcome. Subuh. Selamat subuh. Pin message. Jadi gue lanjut dulu ya.
Like once we destructure it and map over it. For now, I'm going to copy what I have right here at the top. It will be just a single text element. Since we don't have a lot of data.
First data itu dari post ekstraktor to item items dot id item udah nggak? Nggak ada ya? Layers video. Oh, kelas ini. Nggak ada guys. Nggak muncul karena belum dipanggil sih. Bentar. Titik. Katanya. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Kita lihat. Ini enggak kretek. Titik dolar. Enggak ada sih. Item titik sun. Titik. It is undefined. Undefined sih. Undefined. Item titik id. Item titik id. Items. Jadi undefined. Ini ada id ya. Item.
To show right now. And there we go. You can see.
Item titik. Ini ada. Apa lagi ya? Item dari post dari sini. ID ini titik ID. items, extractor, items titik id. Coba kalau log items, nggak bisa ya log di sini ya. Coba log. Bentar. ID-nya ada dapat ID-nya. Nih. Wait, nah ini dapat ID ya. ID. Post titik ID. Undefined. Kenapa undefined? Ini sih. Titik. Kok undefined sih? Item. Titik ID. Enter item. Oh ini keluar. Ini keluar nih. Ngaruh nggak sih kalau pakai S? Ngaruh, harusnya pakai satu ini doang. Padahal setahu gue di sini bebas deh namanya. Di sini bebas, kenapa nggak bisa pakai S? Kalau nggak pakai S bisa, harus hitam.
See that we have another flat list right here. But the most important thing for this flat list will be transitioning it to a horizontal view. Simply by giving it a horizontal prop, you can now see latest videos 1, 2, 3. That is great. So now we have.
Kalau nggak ada kayak ekstraktor gimana? Unique key, oh unique key dari itemnya ID. Oke.
Have a horizontal list and we have a vertical list right here. And that's actually the primary reason why I wrapped everything in one flat list. Instead of wrapping everything in a scroll view, as we
Tiga LJ atau XL. Shit, okay. We are doing great.
typically should do. That's because scroll views don't support both horizontal and vertical scroll at the primary reason why I wrapped everything in one flat list. Instead of wrapping everything in a scroll view, as we typically should do. That's because scroll views don't support both horizontal and vertical scroll at the same time. And in this case, since we have a flat list with vertical scrolling, this one right here, and another flat list within that flat list that supports trending or horizontal scrolling, this is the way that we needed to do it. There's a special error in React Native if you wrapped everything in a scroll view and had two different flat list types, like horizontal and vertical. you would get a special error saying that you cannot do that. So with that in mind, let's go below this trending and below the list header content as well. And let's use another special flat list property called list empty component. It allows us to create a function inside of which we can specify what will happen if our list is empty. So we can say something like text and then say empty. Now this doesn't show right now, but if we modify this data to be simply a completely empty array, I'm going to comment this out and remove it and make it empty. Now you cannot see anything. But if we give this text a class name with a text of white, you can see it says empty. But come on, let's make this look a bit better. Let's create a new component.
Wait. Di mana? Di save area view di home. Ntar ini di mana sih?
This and below the list header content as well. And let's use another special
Di bawah list header. List header nih di sini. Di sini. Di sini ada
flat list property called list empty.
List empty component. Ini callback. Ini pakai ini. Empty. Kan ada. Coba kita jadiin array kosong. CLC ya. Ini empty kan. Sip.
Now this doesn't show right now, but if we class name, but come on, let's make this look a bit better. Let's create a new component that we will call empty state. .jsx. We can run rnfe and we can import this empty state and show it as the only thing right here. Empty state coming from components. We can pass it a title of no videos found, and we can also pass it a subtitle of no videos created yet.
Kita buat component. Let's make component. Empty state.sx. State. Title. Subtitle. Title. Subtitle. Harusnya kayak gini. No videos found.
Or we can say something better, like be the first one to upload a video. Now we can navigate over to this empty state, implement a view with a
Oh,
class name
view.
of justify center, items dash center, and padding x of 4. Within it, we can render an image
Oh,
coming from React Native, of course. And we also have to import images coming from /constants. And we can render the image with a source of images.empty with a class name equal to W of 270 pixels and H of 215 pixels with a resize mode equal to contain. And there we go. Now we can see that
oh gitu.
we cannot find anything.
Terus?
Let's also add a text element
Text.
to make it a bit clearer. And as a matter of fact, we can copy these two text elements we had in the homepage. Right here, text and text. We can paste them here, and we can indent them properly. The first one will be a small text with P medium, gray 100, and it will render the title. Of course, that title will be coming from props and subtitle too. The second one will be text XL with a text center property, font-p semi-bold, text-white, and margin top of 2 to divide a bit from the top, and it will render the subtitle. No videos found, be the first one to upload a video.
Oke. 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 Oke, lihat. Ini kita mau buat di sini. Nih, ini kan mesin itu. Ini kita bungkus. Ntar, berarti bungkus ke view. Coba, ini dalamnya itu dalamnya ada image. Sama ada teks 2 dari home. Coba dari title. Title ini coba text center. T2. Oke. Kan image-nya itu dari mana? Empty ya? Import image constant source image empty class name width 70 pixel, height 240 pixel, class name. Ya, ini kita justify center items center px4 JSM item center px4 content resize mode jangan lupa 215 resize mode content. Good.
I think it might make more sense to modify the subtitle to be the title and title to be the subtitle. That way, we can see no videos found, be the first one to upload a video. And we can even change them around. There we go. This makes more sense. Finally, even change them around. There we go. This makes more sense. Finally, we can render a custom button, which is now super simple as we have already created that component before. We can import it at the top by saying import custom button from /custom button. And of course, we need to pass some props to it. Props like title of back to explore, or even better, since we say be the first one to upload a video, we can say create video. We can give it a handle press equal to a callback function where we call the router.
Route-nya ke slash
We have
apa
to
nih?
import at the top by saying import router from expo router. And then we can call a .push method on it. And we can push to /create. We can also give it container styles equal to w-full and margin y of 5. There we go. That's looking great.
Combine custom button. Oke. Jadi view image text and text. Custom button. Button container styles title. MY BG. Oh ini Y ini atas bawah, coba ke satu. Y atas margin bawah. Oke, sip. This one is clear. Very clear. Damn, this looking good.
Also, it seems like it's not taking the full height of the screen.
Yeah.
So
Flex one nggak sih? Flex one nggak? Coba kita coba tebak ya. Di home ini tambahin flex one. Bisa sih flex one. Here. Ya kan?
go back here to safe area view and maybe add a border of 2 and border of red 500 just so you can see how it wraps it. Yeah, you can see it's missing a bit of height right here. If I add h-full, it should make it full height. There we go. That's better.
Coba ya, dia kan pakai H4 ya. Dia tuh merahnya di atas ini. Coba kita border 2. Kalau flex kan juga bisa nggak sih? Border apa? Red. Sama aja. Ini sebenarnya flex one itu karena karena defaultnya udah display flex kan. Kalau flex one children ini tuh dia ngisi full dari kan home ini dipanggil di layout ini dia. Ini tuh tabs ini ya, itu udah display flex harusnya. Kayak ini flex satu ngisi full, bisa hash full juga, itu sama aja. Flex juga sama aja.
And we can remove the borders, as now we know how things look like. And that's another pro tip. If you're struggling with positioning, adding borders is always helpful. With that in mind, our empty state is now done, which is great.
Itu belum tambahin router. Handle press ya.
We can kind of move it around, scroll it up and down. But for now, I'm going to bring back my array of 3 fake items. That's going to look something like this. That way we don't see that empty state. And the
Keluar empty state-nya. Dari udah balik lagi.
The last pretty cool thing about the flat list is that you can also give it a refresh control, inside of which we can render a refresh control component coming from React Native, and we need to create some special props that we can pass to it. I'm gonna explain what this does very soon. I'll create a use state field that's gonna be called refreshing, and set refreshing at the start set to false. And I'll also create a function called onRefresh, which will be equal to an async arrow function. There, we can simply set refreshing to true, and later on, we'll be able to recall our posts or videos so we can see if any new videos appeared. Once that is done, we can set the refreshing back to false. So why are we doing this? Well, we can now pass it to the refresh control function. We can say refreshing is equal to refreshing, and onRefresh is equal to onRefresh. And if we save it, and if we import use state at the top coming from React, you can now scroll up, and later on, once we have real videos to fetch, once we implement this recall videos function, it will actually try to refetch and show you new videos.
Oke, paham. Oke, ini kita buat refresh control. Refresh control ini dia refresh control komponennya. Refresh control komponen. Ini ada plus refreshing itu refreshing on refresh on refresh. Oke, ini kan belum ada. Kita It doesn't exist. Here you go.
At the top coming from React. You can now scroll up, and later on, once we have real videos to fetch, once we implement this recall videos function, it will actually try to refetch and show you new videos. You might be used to this on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. If you scroll up and release it, it will start loading new data. And I will teach you how to do that very soon as we start fetching real data within our application. And now that our homepage is basically done, I think it's the perfect time to do that. So let's create some data and let's fetch it from within our application. Very soon, we'll implement our own screen to upload our own videos directly through the platform. But for now, I just want to ensure that we can see some videos on the homepage. And the quickest way to do that is to create a few documents directly through AppRight's dashboard. So let's go to Databases, enter our single database, go to the Videos collection, and click Create Document. In the README down below, you'll find a section where you can also find the data for a few of these videos that we will add. So let's copy it one by one. First, I will add a video with the title of How AI Shapes Coding Future with a URL of this thumbnail and enter a video URL as well. And finally, I will enter a prompt that I used to generate this video. That is the whole idea of the application, to share different prompts and videos that you have generated somewhere else using AI. Or you can also share your own videos. You'll also see that this video is actually mine. I recorded it, but it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that we can upload it and see it within our application. And finally, choose a creator. Since you only have one user now, it's gonna be you. Does this make sense? Find the README down below, copy the data, and let's create a couple of videos. Of course, if you want to, you can upload your own videos and thumbnails, but just for the app to look good, I have prepared some for you. So let's click Next, and let's click Create. And our first document containing our video has been uploaded. Let's do at least two more. The second one I will do is get inspired to code with some kind of a thumbnail, prompt, and a video URL. And I'm gonna add myself as the creator. And the last one will be a Dalmatian, which is a dog breed, with a thumbnail, video URL, and a prompt. And I'm gonna choose myself as the creator as well. And let's click.
Cepet banget ya.
Create. There we go. I think 3 videos are enough for us to start showing some data within our application. So let's go back to the code. Let's close all of the currently open files and let's navigate over to AppWrite. Here we have to create and export a new function that will fetch all posts by saying export const get all posts, which is equal to an async function with a try and catch block, where in the catch we throw a new error with an error, and in the try we can say const posts is equal to await databases dot list documents, and to it we need to pass the database ID, which is under config dot database ID, and we also have to provide the config dot video collection ID. And I don't want to every time say config dot and then config dot as well. What we can do is simply destructure all of these values from the config object. So I'm going to copy them all, say const, destructure them like this, and of course you have to provide commas at the end of each one, and then say equal to config. This will allow us to expose them outside of the object. So now I don't have to say config dot, rather I can just refer to them like this. Finally, we can return posts dot documents. This is great. We have a
Gue lagi ngoding.
This will allow us to expose them outside of the object. So now I don't have to say config dot, rather I can just refer to them like this. Finally, we can return posts dot documents. This is great. We have a function that fetches all posts. So how do we actually use this within our application? Well, let's go back to home and let's give it a shot. I'm going to write it right here at the top of the file. First, we need to create a new use state, which we'll call data. Set data at the start equal to an empty array. And we also need another use state for the loading. So is loading, set is loading, and it's going to be set to true. Then we need to create a use effect within which we'll fetch that data as soon as the component loads, or the screen in this case. So we can say use effect like this with a dependency array that's empty, meaning only fetch it at the start. And don't forget to import use effect from React. Within here, we can create a function const fetch data is equal to an async function like this, and then we can immediately call it right below, fetch data. The reason we need to do this is because you cannot use async code directly within a use effect. This would be illegal and wouldn't work. You have to create a new function inside of which you call asynchronous code. Here, we can set is loading to true because we have started fetching the data, and we can open up a try, catch, and finally block. Whether we succeed or fail, we want to set is loading to false because we're done fetching. In the catch, we can call the alert coming from React Native dot alert error, and we can render the error dot message. And in the try, we can say const response is equal to await. How did we call our function? Get all posts coming from lib AppWrite. And then once we get the response, we simply set the data to be equal to response. And just like that, we have data about our videos.
Okay, Gimana cara masuk? Oke, ini objek-objek deh. Objek.
So what do you say that we console log it? Right here below, I'm going to say console log data. We are here. I'm going to open up the terminal. And would you look at that? The data that we
Dapat langsung. Damn. Kok bisa sih? That works.
have added within AppWrite is right here. We can see it by how AI shapes coding future, the video URL, and everything else. That means that we can now start modifying our JSX to actually show some thumbnails and videos instead of showing simple text elements. But before we do that, I want to give you another pro tip. We can further optimize this code and make it more reusable by converting all of this into a custom hook. If you think about it, we'll have to fetch data in a lot of different pages, in the profile, in the search, and in many more cases. And the only thing that will change is the actual function of which posts or which users or what data are we getting. So with that in mind, we can copy this entire console log data and the use effect and these two states and remove them from the home.
Ini reusable hook.
To clean it up a bit. What we're going to do instead is create a new file within lib called use appwrite.js. This will be a custom hook. So, as with every custom hook, it has to be a function that starts with the word use. In this case, I chose the name use appwrite. And as a parameter, we're going to get a function that tries to fetch something. So I'm going to call it fn. And within here, I'm going to paste everything we had before. Is loading, states, use effects, alerts. And of course, we have to import use state from React. We have to import use effect from React. And instead of console logging the data, we will simply return it. For now, we can say return data within an object like so.
Apa bedanya dah?
And then we can say export default use appwrite. Now, where will this get all posts come from? Well, we will pass it as a function through props. So instead of calling get all posts, let's call fn like this. Now, going back to home, instead of all the code that you've seen before that was here, we can do one single thing. And that is const get the data and rename it to posts, which is equal to use upright custom hook to which we pass this function of get all posts, which we created not that long ago. It's basically just this one. So before we had about 20-30 lines right here. And now we have moved that logic here. We're passing the getter function, and we can try to console log the posts one more time to see if we truly get them. We have renamed it to posts.
That doesn't exist.
So I open up
There you go.
the terminal, and you can see there's a lot of code, so that must mean that it has actually done it for the second time. There we go. So the logic works the same, but we have extracted it to make it more reusable. We can also make it more powerful by creating this function called refetch const. Refetch is equal to a callback function that simply calls the fetch data one more time, which is the same exact function which we have created for fetching the data for the first time. But if we want to use it here, we have to bring it out of the use effect. So we're calling it once at the start, and we're calling it whenever the refetch function gets called. And do you know when that will be? Well, it will be on refresh. Once we did it to make it more reusable. We can also make it more powerful by creating this function called refetch const. Refetch is equal to a callback function that simply calls the fetch data one more time. Which is the same exact function which we have created for fetching the data for the first time. But if we want to use it here, we have to bring it out of the use effect. So we're calling it once at the start, and we're calling it whenever the refetch function gets called. And do you know when that will be? Well, it will be on refresh once we pull our device up. So with that in mind, let's return the data, the is loading, as well as the refetch, and back in home alongside just getting the posts, we can also get refetch, and we can recall videos whenever we scroll up or swipe up. So we can say await refetch. There we go. I hope this makes sense. I know it's a bit more advanced, creating custom reusable hooks, but I hope it will make even more sense once we use this custom hook for the second time, so you can see how much code we have actually saved ourselves from writing. With that in mind, instead of just doing a console log in the terminal, which doesn't mean too much, let's try to actually show some data within our flat list. And then, instead of rendering the ID, we should be able to render something like title. And there we go. How AI shapes coding future.
Mana dah? Let's go. Let's go.
Get inspired to code, and the Dalmatians journey through Italy. That's great. But we can do better than that. We can also show the thumbnails we have uploaded. So instead of simply showing a piece of text, let's create a new component called video card.jsx, where we can run rnfe, and we can import it right here as a render item. Video card. Make sure to import it at the top, right below empty state, video card, coming from components, video card. To it, we can pass the entire post, or we can call it a video, equal to item. So now we have access to all of this data within a video card, and we can destructure it video right here. We can also automatically destructure the properties within the video, such as the title, thumbnail, video, and creator. And outside of the creator, we can pull the username and the avatar. Pretty cool stuff. And I automatically destructured the properties within the video, such as the title, thumbnail, video, and creator. And outside of the creator, we can pull the username and the avatar. Pretty cool stuff, right? Now we can use anything we need. So just to verify this is working, let's give some class names to this view, like a class name equal to flex-call, so they show one below another, items-center, padding x of 4, and margin bottom of 14. And let's try to render a text with a class name of text-2xl, text-white, and let's make it render the title. There we go. Everything is working exactly as we thought it would. Now let's put that text to the side for now, and let's create more structure for our cards.
Card ini yang di mana ya? Mohon maaf. Bukan ini kan, tapi yang ini kan.
By creating another view with a class name equal to flex-row, gap-3, and items-start. Within it, another view that will have a class name equal to justify-center, items-center, flex-row, and a flex of 1. And within it, last view, trust me, a view with a class name equal to W of 46 pixels, H of 46 pixels, rounded-LG, border-secondary. We can start seeing things now. Justify center, items-center, and a padding of 0.5. Within it, we can render an image. coming from React Native, with a source equal to URI is the avatar. Class name is w-full, h-full, and rounded-lg, and the resize mode is equal to cover. And now we can see J as in JS Mastery. This was created automatically for us by Apprite. Let's go one view down below the image, and let's create another view, this time for the title of our video, with a class name equal to justify-center, flex-1, margin left of 3, and gap y of 1. Within it, we can render a text property that will simply render the title. We can also give it a class name equal to text-white, so we can see it, font-p semi-bold, and text-sm. And now we can remove this second title as we have the real one above. There we go. We can also give a special property to this text, which is a number of lines, 1, which stops the text from going further if it's longer. Below the text of title, we can render another text. It's longer. It's a number of lines, 1, which stops the text from going further if it's longer. Below the text of title, we can render another text. And this one will render the creator, or in our case, the username. We can give it a class name of text-xs, text-gray 100, and font-p regular. And we can also make it fit in one line. Number of lines is 1. There we go. That's good. We can go below this text and 1, 2 views down, and we can create another view. This one will have a class name equal to padding top of 2, and we can render an image that will have a source equal to icons coming from constants dot menu. Make sure to import these icons. Class name equal to w of 5 and h of 5, and a resize mode equal to contain. There we go, just so we can do some additional actions. Moving 2 more views down, right here, we can finally show the video. And this will be interesting. First, we don't want every single video to play right off the bat. So we want to create a new state to ensure whether the video is playing or not. So let's create a new useState snippet called play and set play at the start set to false. We need to import the useState. And for now, let's see what happens if the video is not playing. So we can open up a new dynamic block of code where we check play. And if it's playing, we can show for now a text saying playing. Else, we will show something else. We will show a touchable opacity, which is basically like a button that will play it. But instead of it being a button, we will actually show the thumbnail. So once you click on it, you can start playing. Let's not forget to import touchable opacity from React Native. And within it, let's render an image that will have the source equal to URI of thumbnail. We're going to also have a class name equal to w-full, h-full, rounded-xl, and margin top of 3, with a resize mode equal to cover. And immediately you can see that it takes more screen, but we cannot really see anything happening right here. So let's apply some additional class names to this touchable opacity, such as a class name equal to w-full, and there we go, we can already see the thumbnail, h-60 for the height, rounded-xl, margin top of 3, relative, justify center, and items center. And now we can actually move through 3 of these thumbnails, and our app is starting to look better and better. Below that image, we'll show another image, and this one will have a source equal to icons.play. You can see this play icon. So for the images, if the source is a URL, you have to do it like this, say URI and then point to the URL, But if it's a local image, you can just do source and then point to the path to that image. Let's also give it a class name equal to W12, H12, and absolute, and a resize mode equal to contain. There we go. So now it seems like we can click to play it. To our touchable opacity, we can also give the active opacity of 0.7. So once we kind of hover over it or click it, we can see what's happening. And on press, we can call the callback function and set play to be equal to true. For now, that will just turn it into a text. And let's also give it a class name so we can see it, of text white. So if I click play on it, you can see that now it says playing, and we can repeat the process for every single one of these 3 videos. That is phenomenal. Let's also go back a bit. Now it always says playing because it's stuck. But if you open up the terminal and press the letter R, it should reload it, automatically log us in, and we can see our thumbnails once again. This is great.
Apa views? Kiri 2, kanan 1. Ini ada 1, ada 2. Yang atas ini ada 2. Kiri 2, kanan 1. Oke. Shit, videonya di mana ya? Ini. Bukan. Nggak ada sih foto. Text title creator like kelasnya itu kotak pembungkusnya guys. Ini yang top, ini bottom. Top itu oh dia punya satu lagi ini. Gak paham, belum paham. Kita punya flex, justify center. Tunggu deh, ini kelas name nanti dulu. Ini kasih teks dulu 2 kan. Teks title teks creator. Kita kasih coba creator. Ini fontnya apa? Font semi bold, text small, text wait, font regular, text JSM, text XA, XA. Username name. Oke. Oh, oh ini gambar. Flex. Justify. Center. Flex one. ML3. Y. Oke. Terus. View text. View ini. View text. Terus. Oh, view yang ini buat ini. Oh, buat ini. View. Nah, image. Source. Guns. Menu. Class name. W5, H5. access mode-nya like last name in T2. Oh, udah pakai gini guys ya.
This was created below the text of title. We can always dash irregular is 1 have h that was equal to w of 5 and h of 5.
Cuma di mananya ya? Itu di kedua nggak usah deh. Borders. Bukan di sini. Di top ini. Ini kan top yang tetap. Di sini nih. Oh. Ini guys. Tapi ya. Berarti ini kan image kiri ya. Berarti di kanan nggak sih? Border 2. Ini border hilangin. Dah. Oke. Loh. Gimana sih? Pencet. Pencet zoom sih. Oh. Ini cons. Cons. Play. Set. Play. False. Play. Play. Else. Pantesan nggak keluar. Well, full. H60 grounded X. Bisa gitu. Ah, shit. Okay, that's very cool.
Have a and better.
Kurang ini if capacity 0.7. Itu 3. There you go. Playing. 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 Game. Oke, ini udah kelar ya sampai ini home screen. Sisanya 1 jam kurang lagi lanjut nanti guys. Gue capek banget sih. Ini close dulu. At least kita udah sampai sini. Tuh. Terima kasih. Kita main game sebentar. Close. Close that. Oke. Gue pengen beli Minecraft sih. Bisa nggak ya?